First time when I came here, it was basically bushland. We were just surrounded by kangaroos and goannas. That's all that we have in here.
When we first rocked up, there was nothing but, there was bush, scrub, there was the old exploration yards and really the bones of the camp and the processing plant being built. None of the mining area had been cleared. The pit was still uncleared. So yeah, we were basically just working out of the old exploration yard, which was not too bad. Actually, it was nice and peaceful, away from the chaos of the plant. And surprisingly better internet out there too, so we couldn't argue with that.
Yeah, December 22 when I first started. There wasn't much here. The C block was the only thing at camp we all stayed in. In the mining area, there was exploration camp and the old geology, a few dongers there, and basically nothing else there.
I joined as a grad, so I'd only done a couple stints of vac work before. So yeah, it was really good to see the project from the start and not come into a well-established thing yet. We didn't have our established offices yet and no processes or procedures really set up that were tailored to our site-specific environment. So it was really good to be a part of creating that and figuring that out as we went and what works, what doesn't work, and what long-term systems we needed to establish.
If you've seen the Mount Madden pit where the drive is there, that's actually where our setup was. So every time I drive past it, I'm always like, oh, that's where our old exploration office was. Like, it's obviously a big hole now, and yeah, I think about that all the time.
When I came here for the first time, I remember being in the courtyard. Never seen lithium in my life, never seen like the pegmatite, and I was like, oh, geez, what I'm doing here, what is this?
It was a little bit daunting, starting up from scratch, having to build a team, pass on some really high standards of lithium mining to both our Liontown compatriots and the IMC contractor, as well as working in a very dynamic and changing environment with the underground startup and the processing plant being built. And additionally, well, for us, we're discovering and learning new things about an ore body as we went that had only been seen in drilling. So there was a lot of big challenges in that startup.
When we first landed our offices, we landed it as it was raining, so half of our office was flooding for the first 2 weeks or first month of operation, and we had a team working in an office that was full of water. And then, challenges along the way. Designs have changed. We've had to change the design of multiple infrastructure and the pit design along the way. So all of those have thrown up challenges as well. We've been working with the projects guys in the early stages, then we've worked with the MPI, the processing guys, we've been working with the underground, and we're all squashed into a very small footprint. And because of that small footprint, then we are having to work together. Lots of different relationships have forged over this time.
Joining a small team on a relatively small site and working with a commodity that isn't so well known, there are obviously a number of challenges that come with that. And so technically for us, what I probably had a lot of fun with was optimizing and figuring out the best parameters that we needed to use to get the fragmentation that we wanted. It's uncharted territory, so yeah, it's been very good to be a part of pioneering that.
Well, with the pit being so busy, and one of the challenges I think we faced was trying to get that delivery time for all the ore, but with our team being quite experienced, we managed to pull through in the end and get all the recovery from the ore that we wanted, so pretty happy with that. And it was fun but challenging at the same time.
Time frame that we had to work with was tight, but it was definitely achievable. I felt always that we could achieve it with the right contractor and the right team to drive it forward.
So one of our biggest challenges that we've had to deal with is maintaining throughout the whole life of the open pit is our really high ore hygiene standards in how we actually extract our ore. So from teaching our spotters what their goal is, teaching our engineers, how the best way to schedule and blast the ore for maximum recovery, and then working with the digger ops down in the field about maintaining the standard that we want, and they may have never worked in lithium before. So that was kind of one of the biggest challenges that we needed to do. And obviously it was the most critical one too. If we didn't extract the ore out cleanly, we weren't going to complete the open pit's goal of providing first ore.
The team is this company has been really close each other. We started just two of us in our panel. We were doing everything from the big techs to the senior geo, and then more people joined. And I think we have this culture we are more than just co-workers. We have a really good relationship and we grow together.
This place has been nothing but fun. The team that we've built here really is gelled well. They get along. The environment and team dynamics we have down here are second to none on this site, and I'd say it's definitely one of the standouts of this entire site is this team dynamic in the open pit. They definitely push each other along, but laughs along the way.
I think I'm most proud of the team that we established. Within Liontown, we've developed a really strong team mentality within the open pit team, but also the relationship and the team that we've formed with the contractor as well. We've grown along this process and developed a really strong team on both sides of that. But it's probably one of the strongest teams I've worked with on site.
I think there's a lot to be proud of. As a team, we've achieved a lot, and then personally for me in my own professional development, I've been able to achieve a lot here as well. Going from graduate to senior in 3 years has been a really good opportunity, as well as being able to just be part of a project, open pit, from start to finish has just been a very good opportunity, which I don't think I would have been able to get elsewhere.
It's really highlighted for my career, just passing through all the phases from the exploration stage, open pit, and now moving to the underground. That's something that is rare to have.
Pretty proud of what we've done here, the technical team, yeah. And myself, it's the first job I've actually started a pit, and I will finish it as well. So for myself, I'm pretty pleased.
I feel really proud that we've achieved the milestones along the way. So within the first 12 months, we had to complete the Mount Man box cut and hand that over to Underground so Underground could start their production. And then within the first 18 months, we had to ensure that we had an adequate ore supply for the processing plant to start up. And then I suppose over this 3-year period, the key milestone there has been ensuring that we had adequate ore supply for the processing to continue operation while the underground went through its ramp-up period. Now we've hit the final milestone that we've now completed the pit, and I suppose the underground is now ramped up and now will take over in terms of ore supply to the processing plant.
It's a real sense of accomplishment, watching that first digger bucket go in the ground to pull out the first bit of dirt, to then watching the final truck of ore go up to the ROM. You don't get a better sense of completion than that.